All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Adam here, as always, and today we're continuing our Gundam Unicorn series with the episode The Black Gundam, Episode 5. Yeah, let's get started. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We're currently doing a giveaway for subscribers. Just subscribe, leave a comment anywhere, and I'll do a giveaway once I hit 400 subscribers. And I'll be giving away the high-grade Beyond Global RX-78 too. So yeah, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. All right, as this episode starts off, it's kind of a prequel by maybe a matter of minutes. You know, as we left off from the last one, Benager was supposed to shoot the Shamblo. What was that thing called? You know, the giant red Neo Zeon mobile suit or mobile armor. Yeah, I gotta look that up. But he didn't want to take the shot, so Riddy took care of it. And then yeah, Benager's just crying. He's in pain. He doesn't want to kill another person, but hey, that's Gundam for you. But then all of a sudden, we see this black unicorn just come out of nowhere, land, and just try to take out Riddy and then capture the unicorn. And I love this opening shot because we're just kind of seeing that kind of behind the scenes of what happened. I guess Earth Federation is just transporting a prototype mobile suit, and in the middle of that transportation, all of a sudden, it just takes off for its mission, and the people on the comms are like, hey, what's going on here? So pretty cool that it's a secret mission, you know, within the mission. Hey, awesome shot here of the unicorn as it lands. You know, Benager's crying because of the Neo Zeon pilot that died, but he goes, a black unicorn. And the thing starts taking shots at Riddy, and it was really cool seeing Riddy kind of like rollerblade backwards. That's what it looks like to get away. I kind of like that movement of mobile suits when they use their thrusters to kind of skate around. It just looks pretty cool. But then what happens is the black unicorn just goes straight for Benager, and bam, that scene's over. Then Benager wakes up inside a Federation hangar, and he sees the black unicorn next to him. He's still shocked or stunned about what he's seeing. And then out walks a pilot. The pilot takes off their helmet, and it's Merida. Now, Merida, at this point, probably just known as Pool 12, she has been kind of reconditioned by the Earth Federation and or the Vist Foundation in order to get the Unicorn Gundam, aka Laplace's box. And then we kind of see where Riddy is kind of seeing how things are coming together and what's going on around him. So, you know, I like the idea that he's almost an antagonist and protagonist at the same time. And we get more dialogue here from Martha Vist. She's pretty much, I guess, in control of this whole situation. You know, her plan really is to try to get Minerva or Audrey and Benager together because she thinks that's the way that's going to get them the box. So there's a lot of exposition here where we have Martha Vist and Minerva Zabi talking for quite some time. It's Martha trying to, I guess, rationalize everything that's going on here, explaining Benager's family background, that he, you know, is the illegitimate son of Cardius Vist, and how, you know, this is, you know, Minerva cares about Benager at this point, right? And so this is where Martha is going to try to leverage that in order to obtain Laplace's box. All right, we get some more Bright Noah action. You know, very cool in my opinion how he, you know, he's now, from the previous episode, he was sent on a mission to see if he can get a handle of the Unicorn Gundam, and right now he's then, you know, speaking with Benager to kind of get a feel for him, and he talks with Benager. Benager kind of explains his situation. This gives Bright Noah the understanding of what to do next, and I think it's pretty interesting because what's happening here is there is a bigger plan at play between the Vist Foundation and the certain group of the Earth Federation force, whereas Bright Noah, part of Londo Bell, is going to follow the orders, but make sure that, you know, Benager is safe, you know, to obtain, to, you know, reclaim the unicorn. But the idea here is Bright Noah now understands that Benager is going to make the right decision that's best for everyone. He even orders him to save Minerva, and to, do what he feels is right with the unicorn. So we see another cool scene here once Bright Noah's getting more information of what's going on, especially after talking with Benager. He then meets with Luo and company, specifically Blachorka. She is, if you remember from previous Gundams, or episodes of the UC Gundam, she was kind of a girlfriend of Amuro. I believe, that was in Zeta. And I think there's even a manga that kind of goes more into that. That's where we see the High New Gundam and the Nightingale. But this is where Bright Noah is then planning his next steps. He's wanting to get in touch with the Sleeves Freighter. And because he knows that after talking with Benager that, the Sleeves Freighter with Zinnerman is wanting to get Minerva and keep her safe. And Benager wants to do the same thing. And they're using the Nail Argama along with the Sleeves Freighter in order to keep those two safe. The problem is being the General Rebel, which is the main flagship of the Earth Federation force. So General Staff Headquarters. That's what they're calling, I guess, the main group within the Earth Federation force, and how they're working with the Vist Foundation in order to carry this out. Luo and company, I guess, from what I've read, is like a competitor to the Vist Foundation. They want to make sure that the Earth Federation is doing the right thing and they're not militarizing the wrong things. So what's really cool here is a callback to previous Gundams again, like Mobile Suit Gundam and Zeta Gundam. We have Kai Shiden that kind of became sort of like, I don't know, a journalist / spy. I don't really know what you would really call him, but he's using his connections to get the Nail Argama and the Sleeves Freighter, the Garanciers, into communication with each other so they can carry out this plan opposing the covert operations that the General House headquarters and the Vist Foundation are carrying out with the General Rebel. All right, and funny scene here because we see the crew of the Nail Argama that we got used to from the previous episodes, where they're on these this crazy mission with Laplace's box that they really don't want to get caught up in. And great animation here, by the way. I really like, even between Bright Noah going to talk with Blachorka, and then we see the crew here. The animation in this episode is really top notch. But yeah, he gets the mission, the secret mission here to meet with the Sleeves Freighter. And then really cool scene here that still, it kind of, wraps everything up from previous Gundams. Here's Amuro Ray, picture on the wall is that Bright Noah's office. Regardless, he's had experience with previous Gundam pilots, like Amuro Ray, like Camille Biden, and then Judao Ashta. And the interesting thing about each Gundam pilot was that it's not like they necessarily wanted to be Gundam pilots and start killing. It came to them and they always did the right thing. So here we're seeing Bright Noah. He feels very confident in letting Benager do what he needs to do to make sure everything is carried out. One thing that's interesting to me, though, is it seems that even though Bright Noah is going forth with his orders, he seems to then really kind of be defying what the main covert plan is of the Vist Foundation. And so, I'm just curious if he just knows that he is not risking anything himself, knowing that Benager, as a new type in a Gundam, will make sure the right thing happens. Because I feel like he could be deemed a traitor pretty easily. And going up against the Rebel, that seems pretty scary. So in this scene, they talk about she's listening to Martha Vist in her head. You're blossoming into a fine woman. And you know what? I just thought this little follow-up shot just looked a little odd. It says every blossom needs fertilizer. And then just look at this sandwich for a second. Is it just me? All right, and here we go where we've got the Banshee with the unicorn on a base jabber, if that's what that specific one is called. Minerva is in the Garuda, and the idea here is to rescue Minerva and for Banagher to get away. While this is occurring, some sides don't know what's going on. The Garuda is not the Garuda, which is with the Vist Foundation. That's their ship they're using for transport. They're not expecting the Sleeves to show up, and they also know Londo Bell is kind of giving them support, but they don't realize that Nail-O-Grama is also going to meet with them in the upper atmosphere. Okay, and the fighting starts. What's interesting is Zinnerman decides to get into a spacesuit and head out on a base jabber to get to the Garuda. And it's funny because I remember when earlier when he was agreeing to work with Kai Shiden, he asked, "Hey, can you get me a base jabber?" And I guess it was for this purpose. Now, what's happening then is Merida understands that there is someone that's about to board the Garuda to capture the princess. And I guess she's able to sense that it's Zinnerman, and it confuses her. And Banagher is like going crazy because he's a sensitive boy, but he doesn't want them to fight because of the relationship they have. And Merida, as Pull 12, is brainwashed. And so Banagher's just making sure nothing bad comes of that. Okay, an interesting little part here is then Riddy feels like he needs to save the day. He doesn't really understand the plan fully, and then he kind of realizes what's going on, that everyone's in on this. So he goes to save Mineva. But I guess the issue here is he doesn't really have a follow-up plan, but also he's not taking into account what the main overall objective here is, what the unicorn is. It's the Laplace's box. It has that information that Mineva is trying to decide what to do with. And when she understands that Riddy doesn't really want to follow him and go with him because of his plan versus Banagher, she decides to go her own way. And that hurts Riddy, but it also furthers his development, his character development, which they do really well in this episode. And it almost seems like I don't think it's about him being in love with her, because you see how quickly later on he accepts her and Banagher's kind of strong tie. But I think it was someone he could confide in, because they had the similarity of realizing their family legacy started atrocities, terrorism, for both him and Mineva. So I feel like he just sees that as someone that he can relate to, and he doesn't want to lose her. So at this point, she puts all of her trust in Banagher and just jumps out of the Garuda, just like that, assuming that she's going to get caught. But this kind of goes into the potential new typeness going on that allows them to be sensed and Banagher to save her. And this is where Banagher senses her and goes for her. Intense zooming. Now Banagher saves Audrey, and the Banshee's still going after him, because the Merida, or Pull 12, is still programmed, to carry out her mission. But what we see happening next is they then go into the hangar of the Garuda, and the Banshee starts tearing apart Riddy's Delta Plus. So then we have where Zinnerman is on the Garuda as well. Merida Cruz is in the Banshee, and he's pleading with her. He starts, and it could, and she's having trouble really grasping it, but it could be that he's breaking through her reconditioning. He speaks to her in terms of how, she was like a daughter to him. She would be the same age, trying to break through to her, and it eventually does work. Now aboard the Sleeves freighter, to get up through the atmosphere, we have the Nail-O-Grama send out a tether cable, and Banagher Lynx uses his new type abilities in the unicorn to pull up the Sleeves freighter to meet with the Nail-O-Grama. And we can see, all that, like the new type psycho waves going on here. That red destroy mode turns into more of that green. I guess this is an example of that new type ability being transferred through is it a psycho frame of the unicorn in order for him to, get the two ships connected with each other. Similar to the Axis shock in Char's counterattack, where Char and Amuro are at the Axis asteroid, and you see that new type light occurring. It is occurring here as he's getting the ships to connect to each other. And Riddy's pissed with everything going on, you know, even though he's pissed about, you know, his learning about his family, you know, Audrey kind of getting with Benager, although it's not really about that, but it's more of he's lost that connection he had with someone. All right, a cool scene here with the General Revel sending out its mobile suits. What's going on, though, with the Sleeves freighter is that the team actually went all on board the Nail Argama. And because of that, the Sleeves freighter is actually empty, but they've all, the General Revel and its mobile suits are actually dispatching toward the Sleeves freighter. Now, as the General Revel is sending out its mobile suits, Benager's Unicorn ran out of fuel, so he's almost like, okay, well, that's it. We're done here. All right, and this next part is really awesome. So the General Revel has sent out its mobile suits. Benager has run out of fuel in his Unicorn. But who comes to save the day? Angelo Sopper and Full Frontal. But Angelo is in his YAMS. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. 132 Rosen Zulu. Awesome fight scene using all of the different things you've seen from like the Neo Zeong type mobile suits. So we have that battle happening with Angelo and then Full Frontal coming in to kick some ass. So the General Revel, real quick, is a Dogose or Dogose Gaia class ship. And it was first utilized by the Titans in Zeta Gundam. That's very interesting because that makes sense here in this context. And so from what I've looked up, the mobile suits that they're mainly battling is the RGZ 95C REZEL Type C. So it could be RGZ 95C Rezel Type C, or I guess there's different types, but it's an awesome looking evolution of, you know, the Zeta, and it does the transformation. I love, you know, the fighters, so it's really cool to see that play out here. And it ends on a cool note. We see Full Frontal and the Sinanju shoot off a rocket, and it ends. And the way the next episode picks up is you kind of rewatch some of the fighting with a little bit more added in, and it continues from there. But I really think this is a cool episode. This is where we kind of see the bad guys, which I think is pretty clear here, you know, lay out all their cards. The good guys like Bright, Zinnerman, Benager, Maneva, they know what to do in this situation. So, yeah, it's really cool in the fight scenes, too. Not only from the beginning, where it's a slight recap, you're seeing the Black Unicorn land, up until this end battle with the General Revel, with the Sinanju and Angelo Sopper's, whatever that Zulu, can I, off the top of my head, Rosen Zulu. Yeah, there we go. Very, very cool. But curious what everyone thinks about this episode. You know, it kind of has that middle point where there is sort of that discussion with some of the main characters. You know, I think a lot of it is Maneva. It's Maneva really trying to figure out what she needs to do in this situation as well. And I think that rescue attempt from Riddy kind of gives her the understanding of what she needs to do next for herself. So anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, in the comments, let me know what you think. Can't wait to start talking about episode 6 as well. So thanks for watching.